Amjad Yamin, the Syria Response Communications Director for Save the Children, joins us now live from Amman. Thanks so much for speaking to us on TRT World's News Hour. First of all, very sorry for what's happened to your colleagues and the situation there. But tell us, two missiles targeted, of course, the camp and exploded 25 meters from the maternity hospital. What happened there?
We don't cover that maternity hospital in particular, but we do have a school in the area. What we are hearing from people is that there was a lot of death and destruction. We know that some of the children were picked up, some of them in parts, actually. We're hearing from a teacher, one of our teachers in the area, who had herself to shelter her children under herself. So she woke up in the middle of the night, found her tent on fire, and she had to use her own body to make sure that her children are not injured. She had to escape and hide in a toilet for quite a few hours, waiting because the structure there she believed would provide more help or more protection to the children. We know people in the area are not able to go back because they are worried about unexploded remnants of war. And we know that at least until now, 8 children have actually been killed in the attack last night.
And we know that this camp has been targeted before, hospitals in the area have been targeted before. How do people that are in these camps protect themselves from such attacks? What do they have?
The situation in Idlib today is as such that people have nowhere else to go. We are talking about a very small geographical area with more than 4 million people, where we know that more than half of them are children, more than 25% of them are women, and more than half of them have already been displaced. Some of these people have been displaced more than 3-4 times. They've escaped from every area in Syria and they're trying to find protection. They have nowhere else to go. Any escalation in conflict that could result in massive displacement would create a humanitarian disaster beyond whatever we've seen currently in Syria. People have nowhere else to go. We know of cases of people who've been for months now living in open fields, living under the tree with absolutely no protection from the elements. And we know now that also winter is approaching and the temperatures there is dropping rapidly. These are no conditions for people to live under.
And this camp that was hit is just 2 kilometers from the border with Turkey. If there are more attacks, could this mean more refugees coming to Turkey?
I wouldn't know where people would want to go next from there. They are running in every direction possible, and they cannot expect the lines of conflict. Where is it going to come to next? Where do they have to hide from it next? I believe that people will try to do as much as possible to try and find protection for their own children, to try and find places for them to hide. But there is no place for people to go. We're in the absence of a cessation of hostilities. People have no way to seek protection anywhere else in the area.
And what access to humanitarian aid do they have?
Partners are actually ramping up the response now. We know us and others are working on providing shelters, providing water, providing even education programs. But just so you know, right now, and we are in November, the year is almost over, the Syria Response Plan is only 50% funded. We're still talking about massive gaps in shelter, massive gaps in education. We know that less than 1,800 schools that are in the area, less than 450 of them are actually currently funded. We know that people have massive needs, that the system is still not able to respond to it. And we know now that the discussion on the cross-border resolution again is opening, and we need that to continue to be able to deliver humanitarian aid to the 4 million people. More than half of them are in acute need of humanitarian assistance.
All right, Amjad Yamin from Save the Children, speaking to us from Amman. Thank you very much indeed for your thoughts and your time. Thank you.